Hello and welcome to Unit 3, our unit on comedy. In this unit, we're going to study the comic genre of dramatic literature, and we're going to trace the history, theory, and development of comedy from the ancient Greeks all the way through the Renaissance. And what we're going to see, what we're going to find, are that all these various forms have some common bonds, some common themes, motifs, elements that help unify it as a genre. And some of these common elements are things like fertility, um, a sense of feasting, celebration, food, dance, the spirit of reconciliation, people coming back together. All of this leads to a form that is very positive and very life affirming in its very nature. And I'm sure you got some of that from the earlier readings we did in Unit 1. The other thing that we're going to see is that comedy changes and develops a bit over time. Even though it continues to have these common bonds, it grows, it changes, it goes in new directions. And so, as I mentioned in an earlier lecture, we're going to see two forms of comedy, related but very separate, very distinct, that both get established in ancient Greece. The first of these is Old Comedy, and that's the comedy of Aristophanes, which is unrestrained and broad, filled with fantastic musical elements and crazy ideas. And the fertility impulse there is located in a sexual impulse. And then a little bit later in the Greek period, we're going to have New Comedy, the comedy of Menander. And this, as I described before, is the boy meets girl plot. And here, the focus is a little bit more domestic and a little bit more close to what we would think of as reality. And at the same time, it's a comedy that's more focused on the impulse of love and people coming together, couples getting married, and the propagation of the species, people having children. Certainly that's implied, although that often doesn't happen within the confines of the play. And then we're going to see some comedy take off into some new directions. In the Roman era, we're going to see comedy center around mistaken identities, crazy kinds of complications, and the physical comedy come about, and comic characters that get initiated in Menander, they start to get refined. So we have comic character types that get set in Roman comedy, and then in the Renaissance, we're going to see the introduction of the comedy of matters. So we'll see some unifying elements and bonds, and then we'll see the growth and change and development of comedy from the Greeks all the way through the Renaissance. I hope you enjoyed these plays, and I hope you enjoy Unit 3 on the comic genre.